Welcome to The Glitter Effect, a podcast dedicated to shining a light on the movers, shakers, change makers, and all-round living legends of our communities who are making a real difference. Today on The Glitter Effect, I'm thrilled to be joined by Barbara Gill, the General Manager of Garage Sale Trail, Australia's biggest community reuse event. What started in 2010 as a local idea on the streets of Bondi by two mates has grown into a national movement, inspiring millions of Australians to rethink waste, embrace the circular economy, and connect with their communities one garage sale at a time. Barbara has been at the heart of that journey, steering the trail as it has expanded across the country, partnering with councils, schools, and everyday households to make reuse not just practical, but fun and empowering. Under her leadership, the Garage Sale Trail has helped divert hundreds of tons of items from landfill, saved Aussies millions, and most importantly, sparked connections between neighbours and communities that last far beyond a single weekend. Barbara is a true glitter spreader, shining a light on what can happen when creativity, sustainability, and community come together. A huge warm welcome to The Glitter Effect, Barbara Gill.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm feeling very glittery with that introduction. So
everyone loves glitter. Keep spreading it. You're amazing. And so thank you so much for joining me. I love this concept and I can't wait to share it. So we're going to jump straight in. Can you tell us what is the Garage Sale Trail and how did this fantastic idea first come about?
Yeah, well, you've sort of alluded to it. So we started in 2010. So 16 years ago, it started in Bondi Beach, one suburb in Sydney, and it was really a happy accident. We're the founders, two guys, Andrew and Daryl, were doing this kind of community festival that was about surf and music and all the things they loved. And at the kind of very end, a few days before the event, they went, wouldn't it be cool if everyone in the suburb had a garage sale as part of this festival? And they had this tagline, it was don't dump it, sell it. And, at that time, Bondi was very transient. A lot of backpackers, a lot of people moving around. So there's a lot of stuff on the curb that could easily have been reused and recycled. So there was something like 180 garage sales happening just on that year.
Wow.
And, it was thanks to council. Waverley kind of came to us and said, this is great. This is helping us stop things going to landfill. And fast forward, we've now got 90 council partners. It happens all over Australia. We're having chats about taking it internationally now too. Really, the idea is simple. It's about encouraging Australians to buy and sell secondhand rather than put things in the bin. So it's about really looking after those items that, have taken precious amounts of resources and energy and nature to make and ensure they last longer and are passed on. Those stories that continue to be passed on. So we do that through 2 big weekends of garage sales and thrift markets all around Australia in November. Last year, 300,000 Australians joined us and sold or shopped secondhand with us.
Wow. And so households, do they sign up? Is that how it works as far as how they get involved?
Well, yeah, I've heard someone say that Garage Sale Trail is about using online to get people connecting offline. It's a really great way to explain it. So it's all built around a website. So garagesaletrail.com.au. People go on there. You list a garage sale if you're having a sale. You can tell us what you're selling. And then there's effectively this treasure map that you put your suburb in and it shows all the events that are happening nearby that you can go check out. And sure, you can have a garage sale any time of the year, but this is really about that kind of collective impact, getting lots of people doing it that wouldn't otherwise have a sale, because you're joining together with lots of other Australians doing it at the same time. You get lots of support from us. So we try and make it easier, more fun, more social, and hopefully you sell more.
And a great time of year too in Australia, just heading into coming into the spring's happening and people are coming into summer. So they really are doing that big clean out or have done it. And so it's a perfect time.
Exactly. I'd like to say we planned it that way, but it is now why we plan it that way. But
just own it.
Yes.
And so you said Andrew and Daryl, they originally set this up.
Yeah.
And it was called Was it called something like a sizzle? Is that, have I read that
Yeah,
correctly?
that's true. It was called the Sizzle Festival. Yeah, that was year one.
And so obviously that was a huge success. And did they then, would they just stayed as the two of them and then built it over time? And at what point did they then go, oh, this is bigger than us?
Yeah. Yeah, so I joined 10 years ago.
Okay.
Um, and I saw an advert in Seek. And at
Yep.
that time, I'd only just moved to Australia from the UK.
Hmm.
So it was that kind of challenging time where you're, trying to build your community and feel a sense of belonging in a new country.
Yeah.
And I saw this advert and I was like, wow, okay. It's what I do. It's partnerships,
Yep.
but equally it's about things I love for secondhand and community. So I joined, 10 years ago. And yeah, I think really for Andrew and Daryl, it grew so quickly.
Mm.
In those 5 years, it went from, one council to something like 150 councils in the first 3 to 4
Wow.
years. And in fact, even went to the UK in that early stage. So they found quite quickly they needed people to join in.
Mm.
They've since kind of handed the reins over and now are running amazing other projects where it's very much about the power of, community-led solutions, I guess, to make the
Mm.
world a place.
Gosh, it's such a simple concept. But like most things that are simple, they're the most effective, right? This is
Yeah.
something, it's doable, it's tangible, and it affects every household. So I think it's really unique. It's so clever. Um, and no wonder it's so well attended each. And I know even in my area, I see people, saying they've got one, and it gets a very exciting weekend when people are on their trail finding the houses that have them. So, and that's the other thing, isn't it? Like you say, that's the map, so people can find their closest sale.
Yeah, exactly. So really the whole website kind of goes around this treasure map and where you pop in your suburb and you can see all the events that are happening. And, it's really thrilling for us and actually quite scary because
Mm,
we actually launched for 2025 yesterday. When we
we
launch, of course, there's nothing in
yes.
the system. There's no events. And, you've spent all year planning just these 2 weekends of garage sales. And there's that kind of moment when you go live going, wow, I mean, are we actually going to be able to mobilize community? And, already I think we've been live for a day. We've already got over 1,000 garage sales
Oh,
lists in a day,
crikey,
you
that's
know,
unbelievable.
just, and it's
People are
just,
ready.
yeah. And it's just incredible to see the little pins pop up all over the map and how
Mm.
excited people get and how much they make it them. It's like this great expression of personality, a garage sale. It's really, really special.
That's lovely. I love that. Now, do you have any particular story of your time in the trail um, that gave you that goosebump moment of saying, this is why we do what we do?
Look, there are so many. There are so many. And, actually my first year, I remember, some of them are very fun and silly. The first year I remember hearing about this lady who sold her jeans to her neighbor
Yep.
and she'd never met her neighbor before. And now she sees her neighbor wearing her jeans all the time and
Ah,
they catch up regularly and this beautiful new friendship formed. But then you hear the kind of the real kind of heart tugging stories. And there was one last year. We had a lady who was escaping domestic violence, and
okay.
she turned up at garage sales, just her and her kid with a backpack. That's all she had.
Oh,
And the community in Harvey Bay gave her everything she needed to set up a home.
oh, that's beautiful.
Just, really incredible to see the impact of community coming together and looking out for one another.
Yeah, that's
Really
beautiful.
brings the best out of people. It's really joyful and happy, and we need more of that
Oh,
right now.
you beat me to it. That's exactly what I was going to say. And this is what this podcast is all about. In a world that's
Yeah,
extraordinarily heavy, particularly at the moment, we need more light and we need more glitter because
yeah,
there's so
so
much
true.
out there to celebrate. And you just touched on my next question. You said about community. It's at the heart of the initiative. What have you learnt personally about the power of community? We all know that community is the central thing for everything. What have you learnt?
Yeah, yeah, it's really interesting. There's a couple of things there. One of the interesting things about Garage Sale Trail is literally no one signs up to meet their neighbors.
Yeah.
It's like we do a survey every year, and it's about 3% of people say we're doing it to meet the neighbors. But every single person who sells or shops with us says the reason they loved it was those, connections with people that they
Mm.
had. the neighbour from number 22 that they've never met, despite being in the same road for 20 years. So I guess what I reckon what Garage Cell Trail has taught me is that I think we're all looking for ways to connect and more
Yep.
ways to connect, but
Yep.
we all need that little thing that connects us, that little excuse. And, that's where a garage sale comes in. And garage sales particularly, I think, are special in that, I often describe them as it's like laying out your personality and your life story on a table.
Yeah.
It's everything that's been part of your journey that you've owned or been given over a period of time. And it makes it really easy to find things in common really, really quickly.
No, that's true.
Quickly, you might have a fondness for 80s power suits or
Yeah.
Ziggy Stardust albums, and you're going to be able to find that thing in common, that thread that brings you together really quickly. Aside from that, what we see with Garage Sale Trail, we're all about kind of small acts, big impact.
Mm.
A garage sale is something pretty much anyone can do. It's a simple thing to do. And when we all do it together, the outcomes are really, really huge. So it really demonstrates, I think, to me that, one, we want community, and two, that when we come together as a community, we can be a massive force for good.
Absolutely. And I was talking to someone just recently, and we were discussing how in a world where we are more connected than ever through technology, we are the most disconnected with that face-to-face.
Yeah.
And we need that as humans. We need that. So something like this, it fills that void without really knowing it's filling that void, which is why I love that.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think we're a bit scared now about how do we do it? How do we have that conversation with someone we don't know? And, a garage sale really breaks the ice with that. So actually we work with a lot of men's sheds around the country who do all these like fun tools. They do, they sell tools and lots of secondhand items, amazing little handmade things they make. And the sheds we talk to, they say, yes, they fundraise having garage sales, but they say what they love about it is blokes will come along and meet them and will join the shed when they were too frightened otherwise to go along. It was that kind of, again, that icebreaker that made it easier for them to dip their toe in and scope out what the place was like to see whether they wanted to have an ongoing relationship with the shed. So, yeah.
That's so good. And that's the thing, it touches everyone of all ages, doesn't it? I mean, I've recently just done a book sale with my 11-year-old on our nature strip. And you're right, we have people come that we've lived in our area for 12 years. And there was someone who came and we ended up talking for half an hour and she bought most of the books. And it was a win-win and we had all these people in common. So it was lovely. And my son walked away with a skip in his step and, we all did. It was lovely.
And how nice is it to know that thing that you owned, that book that you loved, has been passed on and somebody else, that is now enjoying it and it's living a life,
It's lovely. It's that full circle. I really do love it. So you touched on it at the beginning. So it's grown, the trail has grown because you've got help from partners. So 90 council partners, is that what you said?
Yeah, that's right.
And you've partnered with also, you've got state government bodies.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a kind of, we wouldn't exist without partnerships. And it's, it's really our lifeblood and the reason we're here. And so councils, we work with around 90 of those this year. State governments, we also have commercial sponsors as well.
Yep.
It's really, for us, it's about working with partners that share the same goals as we do.
Yeah.
So for our council partners, it's all about, they're looking to reduce landfill. They want to build connection and create a more welcoming place to live. We're a kind of easy way they can achieve that.
Yeah, that's great. And so, and do you personally you nurture and manage those partnerships?
Yeah, so we are a small team. There's 3 of us at Garage Sale that work all year round, 2 of us full time. We have Melina in the team also manages. She basically manages our council partnerships.
Yep.
But most 6 months of the year, I am pretty much around the country, meeting councils, meeting partners, building those relationships, getting people on board. I'm lucky. It takes me to some, weird, wonderful, and unique places all around.
I'm sure.
And the great thing is, we work with councils that, Blue Shire in Queensland that has 800 people.
Yeah.
And then we work with Parramatta in the west of Sydney that's really culturally diverse.
Yeah.
And it works in all those places. And it's really cool to see how different communities activate it and bring their own flavor to it.
That's a good point. I hadn't actually thought of it like that. It's transferable across so many cultures as well, isn't it? It means something to everybody.
Yeah.
There's not many things that can do that. So it's very clever, very clever. And so are you classed as a not-for-profit? Is that what you're?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously a not-for-profit initiative like this, we all know can be, have its good days and bad days, like anything. What have been some of the most challenging hurdles that you've had to overcome in your time? And what have been some of the most memorable celebrations along the way?
Yeah. So, plenty of challenges. And, particularly for us, our challenges are to do with resourcing. We are a small team. At this time of year, we're running a massive national campaign. The biggest challenge for us was COVID. And I'm sure, it's a bit of a yawn fest because everyone talks about it. But running an event that happens in person during COVID was really tricky. We did some crazy things like encourage Australians to do virtual garage sales from their home.
Oh, really?
Almost, how there's that kind of live streaming trend sweeping in the world at the moment. We sort of got in early on that, and it was actually really cool. We'd had these, little old ladies in very regional far north Queensland on their verandas selling stuff to the country.
Excellent.
Look, it worked and it didn't. And I think what I've found is it is challenging. We're a little bit like a startup in some ways because we're so small and very nimble. And the big challenges are definitely always funding and resourcing to make it happen and make it bigger every year. In those challenges, you learn to experiment and try things and just find different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
And for us, that's been a lot about partnerships. Our council partners don't just fund the program; they also market the program for us.
Yeah, great.
So
a great model.
It's a great model because it enables us not only to be able to function as an organization and do the work we do, but also engage with people we would never normally be able to reach through council social media and website and all their community groups. And
but it also means they own it too, doesn't it? It doesn't.
Exactly.
The onus doesn't lay on you alone. It's a team effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it very much feels like that we're kind of one and the same team.
Yeah, that's so good. And look, you've touched on most of it, but we all know with these things, if you're in events or anything like that, we know it's not just a case of a couple of months before the event, you jump on board and you plan it. It's presumably it's a 12-month. And right now, as you said, you've just launched this year's, 2025. Presumably that means you're already in the planning stages for 2026.
Yes. Planning stages for 2026. That's always the tricky thing, isn't it? It's like, I think about next year when I'm right slap bang in the middle of this year. But it's very much a 12 year. It feels like 12 years and 12 months.
It's been a big week.
It's been a big week. We launched this week. We're lucky in some ways in that it's cyclical. We have 6 months of the year at the beginning of the year, which is all about partnerships and campaign planning. And then we move in the latter half of the year to delivering the campaign and bringing it to life.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nice balance. It's not, like some events and campaigning jobs where there's just no let up whatsoever.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, it's that steady, so it doesn't get to that point, isn't it? That you have to go, it's like a month, everything's got to be done in this month. It's that slow burn to make sure it's all the boxes are ticked and everyone's covered. And that's good. That's good. And so you leading the charge with this as well. What have you learned about yourself for leading this movement that you may possibly not have discovered otherwise?
Yeah, I think, when I started, I would put myself in the kind of slightly annoying head girl category. Everything had to be perfect. And I look back and I go, oh God, I cringe. And when I started, Garage Sale Trial was very much operating like a startup when I got there. There wasn't very many processes. It was, this beautiful idea, lots of amazing partners, but there was a real lack of process.
Yep.
which, head girl hat really loved coming in and processes. But the thing what Daryl and Andrew, the founders, really unlocked in me was this being comfortable being fully myself.
Yep.
I think there'd been before that this need to sort of portray someone that was always in control and knew what I was doing and didn't have the confidence necessarily to ask questions or say I didn't understand or really unlock the weird, wonderful quirkiness of who I am and use that to my advantage at work.
Yep.
We very lucky we work with the amazing Barry Dubois, who does, TV, like living room. I actually did a podcast with him not that long ago. And I said to him, I was really nervous about it. And he said, Barbara, you're not going to be nervous. You're going to be uniquely you. It's the only thing no one else can do. Just be you.
That's so true.
It's so true. And it's such a simple thing, isn't it? Barry has this amazing ability to just tell you something really simple and it's this big aha moment. And you go, yeah. You're right.
Resonates, doesn't it? And that's it. Often it's the simplest things that the most tangible things that you can grab onto, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say the biggest thing I've learned, particularly in this role, is the power of just being yourself, and how far that can get you to lean into your quirks and the things you don't know as much as the things you do.
That's good. I like that. And I, just on me personally, I have a bit of imposter syndrome that rears its ugly head every now and then. Do you ever get that? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I got invited to talk at Parliament House. Probably, was it 2 years?
Big gig.
Yeah. I was 2 years ago and I was and it was in my industry, which we sit in the industry of waste. We're a waste industry, kind of is our sector. And look, the waste industry was new for me when I joined Garage Sale Trial. My background's in, I worked for the Olympics, I've worked in fundraising.
Yeah.
So, quite being new to the waste industry, I was like, really, you're asking me to be some leader in waste?
Yeah.
So, it was just shocking. And actually, in fact, I used that as part of my talk. I really leaned into that and stood up and went, this is how I feel about presenting to you. And this is my journey. This is what I've done wrong and how much I've kind of fought imposter syndrome and, challenges with that. So, and actually afterwards, everyone came up because it was a woman in waste event. So it was all female.
Yeah.
And they all came up at the end going, oh my God, thank you for saying what we were all thinking,
Yeah, fantastic.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I can see you've got that aura about you as well. You've got that. You're very sort of familiar. You've got that natural familiarity around you, so you'd bring everybody into your stories when you're talking. So, what's your favourite part of Garage Sale Trail weekends?
It's a bit like choosing children, isn't it? There's so many. I'm gonna say I've got a favourite from going out and a favourite from working in the office over the weekend.
Yep, that's good.
The going out, look, I'm almost a secondhand addict. It would be that, you could go that far, like vintage fashion, particularly kind of 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yep.
So the things you find at garage sales, you just don't find anywhere else. I mean, the things that get unearthed from dusty cupboards and sheds and garages that have not seen the light of day since 1952 are just incredible. So the weird and wonderful items I love. But obviously, we're often in the office, obviously, over the big weekends. The most amazing thing is seeing people sharing what they're doing on social media. You'll be sitting in the office, just seeing people from anywhere and everywhere. There'll be somewhere in regional Tasmania, somewhere in Alice Springs, sharing all this this incredible signage they've made or what they're selling that day. It's just incredible, to work really hard as a small team throughout the year and then go, wow, it really is real because, sitting in the office, plugging away, it doesn't feel real. And then to see everyone on social media going, I'm having a garage sale, this is what I'm selling.
That's amazing.
It's an incredible feeling to see
those
community.
Warm, fuzzy feelings.
Yeah. And I think the thing, it's kind of, there's a common thread running through what I'm talking about today. It's the way people lean into their personalities over garage sale, and they make their garage sale uniquely them. We've had we have this lady in Melbourne who does it every year. She's a massive Magpies fan.
Okay.
And she's called Granny Shirl. Granny Shirl, every time you buy something, sings the Magpie theme tune.
Oh, I might need to go and find her. We're a
Yeah,
magpie family.
I will send you her sale. I'll send you her carousel to go to later this year. But it's things like that, the way people just really lean into their passions and who they are and
Mm,
express through their carousels. It's a really wonderful thing to see.
that's lovely.
Mm.
And what does you've tipped on it again slightly, but what does the future hold now for the Garage Sale Trail? Obviously, there's still areas of Australia that are untapped, I'm assuming, and you talked about there was partnerships in the UK. Is that what's the plans for the next few years?
Yeah, it's definitely growing. So as you know, we're in 90 areas. We want to get to more areas of Australia. We're working quite a lot on how do we make sure it's accessible to as many Australians as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm talking there about, if you live in a unit, having a garage sale, for example, can be hard.
Mm,
More and more people living in apartments, that's the sort of thing we're looking at. We're looking at, newly arrived migrants and culturally diverse Australians. How do we bring them into it to unlock the power of reuse and community with them too? So yeah, it's really about making it more accessible, getting it into more areas, and keeping it alive and going, because it's this beautiful, beautiful couple of weekends in the year that really, and I really should say this, that we do what we do in the background to develop the framework and make it happen. It's the councils and the communities that
mm,
actually take part that are the real magic.
mm.
It's incredible to see the way Australians embrace it and make it their own and get involved every year. And we wouldn't be here without them.
Fantastic. Now, a little bit of a personal one for you. Obviously, we call the glitter effect because I'm a firm believer everyone has their own glitter that they can spread with purpose and heart when they find their thing, which you clearly have. But in order to get to this point, there'll be people along the way who have inspired you along your journey. And who have been your glitter kings and queens that have inspired you to be who you are today?
The big one for me is my mum.
Yeah.
My mum, I grew up in just outside London, not far from you, I
Yeah.
know. And my mum ran an op shop when I was younger.
Ah,
So I kind of grew up on the sorting room floor of like a charity shop in the UK.
yeah.
And, at the time, I was probably about an 8-year-old girl when she started volunteering and running the op shop. It was about the dresses. It was about seeing, items from every decade being pulled out and imagining the stories of the people that had owned them before and where they were going to go to next.
Yeah.
Finding that thing that had a little handwritten note still in it from the previous,
Mm,
a magic of secondhand. But really that kind of, I guess that was my grounding in secondhand, that the magic of secondhand, but also the community of secondhand.
yep.
So, mum gets very embarrassed when I say things like this because she's
No.
really self-deprecating. But mum gave me this little fridge magnet not that long ago. And it's the mantra I live by. And it's be silly, be honest, be kind. And I
Beautiful.
feel like if I can bring that into every day, just as my mum does, I'll be really happy.
That's lovely. That's so nice. And if anyone wants to jump on the Garage Sale Trail, either host or find out more, where's the best place for them to do that, Barbara?
The best place to go to is our website, which is garagesaletrail.com.au, and you'll find out more there. You can either join us to host a garage sale or find out what bargains and treasures are lurking on your street.
Amazing. Barbara, thank you so, so much for joining me on The Glitter Effect today. It's been such a privilege to hear about your journey with the Garage Sale Trail and the incredible impact it's had right across the country. What really shines through is not just the scale of what you've achieved, the tons diverted from landfill, the millions saved and reinvested, but the way you've built something that at its heart is about people, connection, and community. The Garage Sale Trail is proof that when you bring creativity, sustainability, and community spirit together, you create something far bigger than the sum of its parts. And Barbara, the glitter trail you are leaving through this work is one that will keep sparkling for years to come, not just in the items that are reused, but in the stories, memories, and friendships forged along the way. Thank you for being such an inspiring leader and for showing us that change can be joyful, practical, and powerful, all at once. Thank you so much for your time today. I wish you all the very best. Take care.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you for joining me, Kate Gniel, on The Glitter Effect. If you've loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep showing up, making an impact, and sprinkling that glitter wherever you go. Bye for now.